Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Taco, and today we're back with another video. And I'm finally not sick. I'm finally not as sick as I was. So yeah, we're back. We had no perfect games last week. We went 12-4, which was really good. Overall record is 32-16. I think I went 12-4. I didn't actually do the math yet. Let me see. Yeah, I went 1, 2, 3, 4. I went 12-4. Let's just get into these week 4 picks. Yes, I will have a video coming out later this week. I swear on it. I will do like 100 push-ups on my bed if it doesn't come out. Anyways, the Thursday night game is going to be between the Lions and the Packers. The Lions, they've looked really good this season. They had the loss to the Seahawks. Their defense looks a lot better than what I would have expected. You only allowed 6 points to Atlanta. When you look at the Packers, a sneaky good team. Jordan Love is that guy. Came back down 17-0 last week. They're a good team. Overall, this is going to be a really good game. We have a lot of really good games. A lot of interesting teams playing each other on this week 4 slate. We're definitely going to learn a lot. But I have the Lions taking the win here 24-21. I think that this team is just going to end up being better than the Packers. The Packers are always going to keep games close. They're always going to score a little. They're going to let up a little too. But I just think that the Lions have the upper hand. We move on to the London game, which is between the Jaguars and the Falcons. Jaguars are always in London. They're doing the Toy Story whatever thing. That's stupid. The Jags just didn't look good. They have not been a very good team this year. I think that we all expected the Jags to just take this next step up because they finished last year super good. Maybe that's just not the case. The Falcons, you had a tough loss last week. You're still definitely a good team. I still think that you're going to win the NFC South. But I do have the Jaguars taking a win here, sort of getting back on track in London. It's going to be 23-17. This Falcons team is good. I expect them to stay good. They're definitely going to have a lot of issues with a lot of young players traveling overseas. But I think that the biggest issue with this team is just we don't know what to expect that well from them. And the Jags, we know that they can win games like these. And I'm going to bet on them to bounce back. Then we got the Colts and the Rams. The Rams, they had a tough loss on Monday Night Football. This prediction was actually made before Monday Night Football, but I stick with it. They look good. Puka Nuka obviously looked really good. As always, Matt Stafford, he looked alright. Versus Cincinnati, I still think that this team is a lot more competitive than people expect. And like, if you look at it before the season and you're like, the Rams are only going to lose to the Bengals by 3, you as a Rams fan, you would be pretty happy. Forget about the Bengals. Maybe they were back. When you look at the Colts, really surprising. They're 2-1. They beat the Texans. Oh, wow, you beat the Texans. But beating Baltimore, you can beat a competitive team, especially, and it looked better when you beat the Texans because the Texans don't look too shabby when they beat the Jags. But this is a really interesting game between two teams that are surprisingly good. But I think that the team that is going to end up on top is the Los Angeles Rams. I have faith in this team. I have faith in this offense. I have faith in this defense. I don't know about Anthony Richardson's health. They'll probably play. Concussion, you usually miss 1 week. But I still think that the Rams are just going to be able to get the job done. Moving on, we have the Browns and the Ravens. This game is going to be pretty entertaining. Yeah, the Ravens, they took a tough loss last week, did win the first 2 games of the season. You have the Browns, took a pretty convincing win weeks 1 and 3. What happened to them week 2? Week 2, they lost to the Steelers in a real close game. A lot of good defensive plays for Pittsburgh. I think that the Browns are going to keep it competitive with the Ravens. I think that the Browns are a little better than we thought. The Ravens might be a little worse. But I think that this game is going to be really competitive. I do think that the Ravens are going to come out on top. I have them beating the Browns 23-21. The Ravens team is good. They have a lot of guys hurt, but this team is good. They were a Justin Tucker kick that he almost always makes from being 3-0. The Browns, really good. I don't think that they can keep up with the Ravens. Moving on, we have 2 winless teams in the 0-3 Vikings and the 0-3 Panthers. I think that the Vikings should not be 0-3. Maybe they lost to all the teams that they were playing. Actually, that sounded stupid. They're not as bad as a normal 0-3 team is what I'm saying. When you look at the other teams, the Panthers, the Broncos, and the Bears, who, by the way, are also playing each other, so we're only going to end up with 2 winless teams after this week. The Vikings are just a lot better than those teams. The Vikings, I'll say it, they're going to win this game 24-14. When I look at Bryce Young's health, sure, but I don't think that this offense is going to be good. I honestly think that this offense, it looked a lot better with Dalton in there. And I just think that the Vikings are going to be the better team in this game. It's that simple. Moving on, we have the Bengals traveling to Tennessee probably to play the Titans. The Bengals, they had a solid win last week. They might not be fully on track yet, but they got the win that they needed. All right, they needed it desperately. The Titans, you had that win against the Chargers. You're still 1-9 since since you fired your GM, I think, is what started that thing to happen. But whatever it was, I think that the Bengals are going to take control of you guys. I didn't know where I was going with that. They're going to win 24-16. The Bengals are. The Bengals are simply the better team. I think that they can get more back on track this game. They're going to look good. The Titans just don't really look good. It annoys me because of my freaking fantasy team. Stupid Okonkwo's got like 0 points ever. But yeah, the Titans, they're just not that good. 2 really interesting teams coming up with the Bucs and the Saints playing each other. The game probably in Tampa. Probably in New Orleans. Still a little sick. The Saints, they don't have Derek Carr. Big issue. They will have to find a way to win games. Jameis, he blew a 17-0 lead. We can't really call him good. But you're going to have to stick with them. They're going to have to find a way to make it work. That's simple. The Bucs, they didn't look good versus Philly. They did not look good versus Philly. They just got the crap beaten out of them besides that one drive. The Bucs, I do think, are going to be the better team in this game. They're going to beat the Saints 27-21. 2 really interesting teams, though, in a really interesting game, in my opinion. Moving on to what's going to be the game of the week, let's be honest. We have the Dolphins and the Bills. The Dolphins, they put up 70 points. What can I say? And the Bills, they put up a 34-point win against a Commanders team that we thought was going to be really good. Some people honestly thought that they were going to compete with them. I didn't really think that. His Dolphins team is a really good team. This Bills team is a really good team. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a really close game. It's going to be a really good game. Probably one of the closest and best games I'm going to predict of the season. 31-30 in favor of the Dolphins. I think that this is going to be mano-a-mano, as the Dolphins will be in a lot of games. I predicted it with Dolphins-Chargers that would be a high-scoring mano-a-mano. I think that the Dolphins are just going to be the team to win those games, though. So, yeah, I have the Dolphins beating the Bills. Moving on to two teams that are much less entertaining to watch. You got the Broncos and the Bears. The Broncos lost by 50. The Bears lost by 31. The Bears are bad. Everybody knows that the Bears are bad. The Broncos might suck too, but simply the Broncos are better than the Bears. I have the Broncos winning 19-14. This Bears team just can't win. All right, I'm sorry for the 96-year-old girl that's a Bears fan or that works with the team, but I'm sorry that it's closing out like this. Like, your team just sucks. That's the truth. The Bears suck, and the Broncos also suck, but they're just going to be a little bit better than the Bears. The Eagles and the Commies. The Eagles, they haven't looked like the Eagles of last year. They haven't looked like this amazing high-powered team, but they're 3-0. They won 3 games, all right, and they have lost 0 games, which means that they are doing just as good as you need them to do. The Commies, really nice and competitive their first 2 games, got to win their first 2 games, even though the teams maybe weren't the greatest, as we saw. They, in week 3, just look bad. I think that the Eagles pass rush, the Eagles defense in general, will just be able to eat up Howell. This is the first time when he faced the Bills that he went up against a really good defense, a defense that's able to fluster some quarterbacks, and he just did not look good at all. Which means, I have the Eagles winning 23-14. The Eagles are just going to be the better team here. I think that they can fluster Howell, and when you get that, your offense is just going to be able to get the ball and score. It's not a blowout because it's an NFC East game, and they're never blowouts, but it's a comfortable win for an NFC East game. Another interesting game, the Steelers and the Texans. The Steelers, they got to win. They beat the Raiders. It maybe wasn't pretty, but you did beat the Raiders. And you scored more points than, you ever do, because you have Matt Canada. I saw a video of AB trying to convince the Steelers to let him call plays. The Texans looked really good. They beat the Jags by 20 points. CJ Stroud looks really good. CJ Stroud looks like the franchise quarterback out of these big 3. And Richardson could be too. Honestly, Bryce Young is the worst one. But I'm just going to get down to it because it's late and I'm tired. I do think that the Steelers are going to be able to win this game. It's going to be 20-18. It's going to be a close game. The Steelers are a great team. Who are we talking about? The Texans are also a good team. Of course, the Steelers' offense isn't the greatest. Texans' defense isn't the greatest. But I do think that this Steelers' defense will be able to hold them down. Moving on, I think this is the start of the 4 o'clock slate. We might got one more. But the Chargers and the Raiders, Chargers, they're 1-2. They finally got a win last week. They've looked good, you could sort of say, all 3 weeks of the year. It just hasn't translated into wins. The Raiders, 1 win, 2 losses. A win, they looked all right. But they beat the Broncos by 1. Really, this didn't look like a good team. I think that the Chargers can handle them. It'll be 26-17 LA. I don't think that the offense needs to score. a whole lot of points, as well as the Raiders' defense. Not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I don't see the Raiders' offense scoring on the Chargers' defense, and we don't even know if Garoppolo is going to play in this game. Moving on, we got the Niners and the Cardinals. The Niners, they just look good. They might be the best team in the league. I hate the Niners after how awful their fan base treated losing to us because your quarterback got hurt. Want. The Cardinals, hey, they beat Dallas, so we got to be happy because they beat Dallas. And that team sucks, but they beat Dallas. It might be the only win that they have this year, but they beat Dallas. They honestly haven't looked too bad, but one team is significantly better here, and that is the San Francisco 49ers. I have them winning 31-14. It's simple. That Niners offense is just better, and that Niners defense is just better than the sides that they are facing. Then you move on to, the last game of the 4 o'clocks. We're done with 2 Monday nights finally. The Pats and the Cowboys. This game is in Dallas. The Cowboys, they didn't look good last week. You lost to the Cardinals. That's that simple. The Patriots, they looked all right. They beat a struggling Jets team. I still think that this Patriots team is better than their 1-2 record suggests. I think that they're a really good team. I think that they're going to pull off an upset. I have the Patriots beating the Cowboys 23-20. I think that this Patriots team, Bill Belichick, can outcoach you. You're going to get outcoached by Bill Belichick. What a surprise. And I think that the Patriots are just going to find ways to stop the Cowboys. And that's how this game is going to be. Then you got the primetime games. The Chiefs and the Jets. I'll keep this one simple. The Jets suck. They might have Simeon in. They'll probably still keep Zach Wilson. I saw that they did sign Simeon. Then you have the Chiefs. They won the game in a convincing enough fashion where we could say the Chiefs are back to being the normal Chiefs. They're going to beat the Jets 34-13. Jets stand no chance in this game when you have Zach Wilson at quarterback. And I think it's an Arrowhead, so that stadium is going to be rocking for Sunday night. Now we got the Monday night game, the Seahawks and the Giants. Giants, they had to win against Arizona. Haven't looked good against anybody else. The Seahawks, I think that this team is good, man. I forget what happened to them last week. What happened? The Panthers, they beat the Panthers. Their offense looks good. 37 in back-to-back weeks. Their offense is fine. Their defense might be a little bit iffy, but at the same time, you're facing the Giants. You're cool. I have the Seahawks winning 28-18. I think that this Giants offense just isn't the same. Probably still won't have Barkley the way that injury is looking. And the Seahawks defense, they're just going to be able to do enough. And the Seahawks offense is just going to be able to do enough. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see y'all in the next one, which will be either Friday or Saturday. Not a predictions video. Peace.